A few months ago, I visited Jekyll Island, Georgia. I wanted to see where the concept of our Federal Reserve System was hatched. I knew it was there thanks to a book written by our guest that we have today, G. Edward Griffin, a writer, documentary film producer, and founder of Freedom Force International. He's listed in Who's Who in America. He's well known because of his talent for researching difficult topics and presenting them in clear terms. Now, 30 years ago, this month, Creature from Jekyll Island was published about the origins of the Federal Reserve. So many people ask me, hey, Kevin, have you read this book? Well, it was researched and written by Griffin in his early 60s. He's 93 now. I tracked him down and began a conversation. I decided to invite him into the Economic War Room. Welcome, Mr. Griffin, to the Economic War Room.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And I got a kick on that. You tracked me down. I thought, well, here I am. What are you going to do with me now?
Well, you've lived an amazing life. It's been pro-America, pro-liberty your whole life. And so I'm so excited to speak with you. You're still in the fight. You're not retired. You're still operating, right?
Retired. I don't know what that means. I've heard that word, but I don't understand it. I had a lot of friends getting up in years, and it seems like when they retire, whatever that is, first thing you know, they're gone. So I decided, whatever that is, I don't want to do it.
Well, I'm glad you're not doing it. All right, Economic War Room is fighting the fight, similar to what you've done for pretty much your whole career. We talk about the bad problems, the good solutions, and the beautiful. What could happen if we bring individual liberty back to the Constitution and the things that our founders stood for? So let's start with some of the problems that you see. What's happening in America today?
Well, what's happening in America, a lot of things are happening, of course. Everybody understands that. Everywhere you look, you see what we might consider to be decay of the American dream, decay of the American ideal. And unless you're really serious about this, it's hard to understand what that means. I mean, decay, we know it's not as good as it used to be. We know that the growth of government is all around us. And conversely with that, the more government grows, the less individual freedom we have. They seem to be opposed to each other. You can't have government regulations and freedom to act as you choose at the same time. So what's happening today is a continuation of what was happening in America even before I was born. I thought I was born into the America of the history books. I learned about the Constitution. I learned about our founding fathers. I learned about the fact that George Washington was expected to become the next king because we won the Revolutionary War. Even the colonialists said, well, are you going to be our king now? That was the thinking, the mindset of everybody in the world, that we've got to have a king because all countries have kings. And I became aware that, America was the first deviation from that path. It was a deliberate rejection of that royalty concept, the imperial leader, the dominant force over the common people. I thought, boy, I'm so glad I was born into this. And I didn't realize that as I was thinking that as a child, already our country had been eroded at the roots, and very few people knew it. And I didn't discover it until later on. And when I retraced the thread back to the origins, I thought, oh my gosh, this was a trend that started almost from the very beginning, where people were attracted to government because, well, governments and large institutions of all kinds, wherever you find a concentration of wealth, money, and power over other human beings, it becomes like a magnet to the predator class. And people start going, oh, I want to be working in the government because that's where the money is and that's where the power is. And it doesn't take long before this magnet pulls in the predator class. And people who are enjoying all their liberties and freedoms and benefits, they don't think about those things. They don't want to be involved in politics. So gradually the system begins to get corrupted, and you don't see it at first. In fact, when you're born into it, you don't even look for it. So what's happening today, the short answer, is it's a continuation of what happened almost from the very beginning.